splitting up the assets. Maybe after a long divorce, maybe after a breakup here. That's what I'm seeing for you Libra signs. So the 10 of Wands, Pentacles reversed with the 4 of Wands reversed, that's a breakup, that is divorce, and that is a separation of resources, potentially even property or like a lot of money because it's the 10. With the 9 of Cups, someone here is actually willing to give up all their money, or most of their money, in order to have emotional fulfillment, in order to have peace of mind, and in order to have things for themselves, like what's yours is yours and what's mine is mine. Now looking down here at the Scorpio sign with the number 8, I am getting a feeling that this is kind of a sting for one of the two people, okay? It isn't such a great or friendly situation with Scorpio, but I also feel like it is somewhat cordial with the number 8 here. It's reached some sort of like level where we can actually all sit at the same table and talk about what's going on and resolve things. Now, if you aren't in a relationship and this is a breakup, this could just be talking about separation of resources. Like, let's say there was an inheritance, right? Then you'd have to separate those resources amongst a family. Or let's say that, you know, two people who are roommates are leaving and you have to decide who's getting the stuff. You know, it is a separation of resources and a breakup on some level, but it's good for one person because it's what they need so that they can have their own stuff, have their own peace of mind, and I feel like that is what they want here, but it's a sting for the other person. Let's pull some oracle cards. Anything else? Interesting. So on the bottom, I have Libra. You guys are trying to be fair. It's in your nature to be fair, which is what Libra energy is all about. It's equality, equanimity, all that stuff. It is what is fair for all. You guys are trying to do that. And in fact, you guys are almost going above and beyond because I have Mars, the 0, and Gemini. It's almost like you guys are willing to give up more than your share. Possibly because you instigated this issue to begin with. Possibly because you just don't want to dig deep into who owns what, right? You just want this over with. I think with the Knight here and the this is the Cave, it's like you just want this over with the Knight, and the Cave might just be there's a lot of complexity to the situation, but you're willing to just give up things in order to get through the complexity and get through the situation quickly. You're willing to give up more than your fair share. Maybe you even think that it's fair for you to give up more than your fair share because you're the person who is kind of like instigating this entire situation to begin with. Okay, go your separate ways. Just go your separate ways. And you know what? I think you're right. It's not really worth looking at the minutia. It's not really worth bickering about who owns the dishes. You know, if this is a breakup or a divorce, it's like the Tower. It's already bad enough. It doesn't need to get any worse. And it gets worse the more you look at it because the Hermit and the Tower are flanking this 3 of Wands here. And with the 3 of Wands and the 5 of Cups here, it's like you don't need to make it worse for this other person by digging into the minutia. All right, and then on the bottom, I have the 9 of Cups. It's like you guys are still coming off on top. Even if you were to give up a bulk of the monetary value of whatever it is, or if you give up a bunch of like the pentacles, right, the money, whatever, practical things, you still come out on top with Cups because you feel better than this other person does overall. So you come out on top on that level, like on an emotional level. Underneath that, the King of Wands. It's because you get to actually be yourself, you get to do you, and you get to live like an authentic life without someone maybe interfering. So the advice really is to remember, no matter how much you give up financially, I think you end up on top, so it's not worth it. It's not worth digging into. All right, guys, that is your reading, Libra signs. Thank you all so much for being here. If this did resonate, don't forget to like the video, follow the channel if you want to see more of these.